This is Ivy Unleashed.
A Gold Ivy production. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. We are currently crying. Sometimes you got to change things up. And Brooke and I just decided to do the weirdest laughs we could possibly do. I think I should maybe make a reel of that. But we are here today to talk about what we're all about, which is personal growth and self-help, self-growth, whatever phrase you want to use. That's what this podcast is all about, right? It's what's your potential? Let's tap into it and let's push ourselves, whatnot. But there's a danger zone with it. And we want to talk about how you can kind of overdo self-growth. You can really get yourself into a spot where you can become kind of critical of yourself or feel like you could always do more. And so we want to talk about, number one, what personal growth means. We want to talk about the difference between being content and never being satisfied. We want to talk about, signs that you might be overdoing it. We want you to be aware of this might be a clue that I'm overdoing this, because we can burn out easily if we go a little too hard in the self-growth.
Yeah, I think personal development sometimes gets a bad rap because it's like you're not happy with where you are. You always need to be changing and doing and being more, and you can't just be happy with where you're at. And I think that's false. And I think today we are going to set some facts straight on how we feel about it. And let's start with even just the definition of personal development, right? What is personal development? Why we need to care, why we created our whole careers around this idea. And personal development or self-improvement consists of activities that develop a person's capabilities and potential, build human capital, facilitate employability, and enhance quality of life and the realization of dreams and aspirations.
Oh, I love it. I feel like that just fires me up. I love hearing about aspirations and dreams and what you're capable of. That is so exciting. And we said in a couple episodes ago, we never know what our potential is.
And it's so cool to think about that, right? You have no idea what you're capable of, but it's something that can be tested and it excites you. And it's that dance between being happy with where you are, right? Being grateful, being abundant as is where you are in life right now, but also wanting more and tapping into that potential of what could more be.
Yeah, and I think about my practices when I'm in a good spot with self-growth and development. I'm really focusing on gratitude. I'm in prayer. I'm thanking God for what I have, and I get emotional because I'm so happy about my life, about certain things I think about. But then I also use that prayer and that reflection to think about, okay, what's missing, or what do I keep thinking about? And what do I want to achieve that I haven't achieved yet? Because I do have these strengths that God has gifted me, right? And so I want to use them. And I do think we're called to do that. And so if you feel like you're not content, it's probably because you could probably push yourself a little bit more, or chase the dream, or listen, or tap into what you're grateful for, or what your strengths are. So yeah, I like how you said it's a dance, right? It is a dance between, okay, I might be overdoing it, I'm feeling kind of burnt out, versus I really am enjoying what I'm doing and working towards.
Yeah, and I think the burnt out piece, right? That kind of stems, for me at least, for being way too self-critical. Not giving myself credit for everything I've done up until this point. I just had this conversation with my boyfriend the other day of, I want these things. And he's like, but why can't we be happy with where we're at? I'm like, why does it have to be an or? Why can't it be an and? Why can't I want these things and be super happy with where I'm at right now? And I think that's personal development, right? Anything you read about in personal development, anything you watch, it's gratitude, it's gratitude, it's gratitude. Being happy and grateful for what you have right now allows you to attract more of what you want, because you are in that mentality of, oh my gosh, overflow.
Yeah. And I think it's really important for, what you just said, to reflect on for yourself and for me, because as business partners, one of us will say something positive and then the other person will be like, but, you know what I mean? Instead of and I think that's really important, whether it's in your own mind or with someone else or with your partner or whoever, in those moments of gratitude, that it's not but, because you can always find something that's missing. You could always want more money. You could always want more success, or connection or whatever it may be. But that and is crucial. And I think that's like the secret sauce is it's not but. Like you won't be happier if you have more. You'll be happier if you truly appreciate exactly where you are and you think about what might be missing a little bit that you want to cultivate or you want to focus on.
And as you're saying that, what I think about is how we are in this spot right now, right? This is something that we are struggling with, and that's why we're recording on it. As two women who are building a business in different stages of our life, like we have different financial means and we have different dreams and goals, but we also have a lot in common. And so it's using that to our advantage, but also being brutally honest with where we're at, what we need to work on, right? And being grateful for what we have now while we are trying to be in a different spot in our business. It's a tricky dance. It's a dance that we are still learning. And I think everyone listening can relate to that because if you're listening, you are into self-growth. You want to better yourself.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to feel like you're missing out and you're lacking something right now. So how do we do that?
Yeah. Well, something I keep thinking about with, how you do that, a lot of times your happiness, it is paired with someone else. It is paired with your partner or the family you live with or your roommate or your business partner or your coworkers. And in order for you to, in those environments when you are trying to grow it or grow the relationship, you do need the grace of each other of like, yes, I see your faults or I see what you could work on, right? But then allowing there to be grace of like, we're all evolving, right? And so with self-growth, that's what it is. You're changing, you're evolving, you're trying to grow, and you need grace in that. And your partner or your coworkers or whoever also needs grace. We're all learning. And I think it's just a matter of like aligning your expectations of yourself and knowing that like there is no perfect way to grow. Success looks different for everybody. And in relationships, it can be extra tricky because we all grew up with different families and different value systems. And so aligning yourself with others as you're growing, it's a dance. It's tricky.
I think the key in what we're learning is fun, right? Like when you view it as an and, like I'm so happy, I'm so grateful. And what if this happened? Like what are the possibilities? It's like that curiosity. It's that little kid within us that's like, oh my goodness, like so jacked and excited. And when we're not having fun, when we're not excited, it is just work and tough and it feels like it's too much, and that's like the pathway to burnout.
Which is so funny how we started this episode just laughing together. Like that's what we know, that's important. Like you, as you're growing, cannot take yourself so damn seriously because at the end of the day, we're just like little kids that want to have fun too. Like, yes. And success, we want to have a lot of success so we can have more fun. Like it's all tied together. And so weaving it in so that we can enjoy the process of growing and laugh at ourselves when we suck at something or like, oh, here I am again saying the same thing that I know I need to work on saying or not doing. Like we have patterns because that's just how our brain works. Like it's used to these recycled thoughts. And so it's easy to stay in it. And when you're in self-growth and development, it's all about getting uncomfortable. So when it's so uncomfortable and you're squirming, like laugh at yourself. It's okay. Like you're not going to be great at things when you're evolving and trying something new. It's like we laugh at ourselves with technology. Sometimes we're like, didn't know I could figure this out. Definitely still don't have it figured out, but I'm trying. Like I'm working on it. And the humor, I think, in the process and fun, like you're saying, it's crucial so you don't burn out.
And I think a lot of people, they don't want to be uncomfortable, right? Like, of course we don't. And so we stick in this same spot of like, I'll just read all the books, I'll get this, I'll do this before I actually execute. And like, we're guilty of that, right? Like I add a new book on my list every freaking 5 minutes, I feel like. And what I'm realizing the more that I do this self-growth on myself is like, that is a procrastination tool. Like I'm doing that so I don't have to take action. What if instead of taking all of this knowledge from everyone else around you who is profiting from your money, right? And like you not wanting to be uncomfortable, you actually said, maybe there's something in me that I know how to do this, or I'll learn. And by me taking action, I'm learning and I'm growing. So it's like by you reading all the books, and I know this is kind of like defeating the purpose of this episode because you're listening to us, but like maybe that's what's holding you back is you need to just cut the ties and fly.
Yeah, I think trusting yourself that, you know, we can look outside ourselves for all these answers. And I do think podcasts are important, and books, like, it's really helped us with guidance from people that have been way more successful than anybody we know. We're like, oh, how'd they do it? Like, I think it's brilliant to tap into self-growth stuff. Like, it really is. But I love what you're saying about like embodying it and integrating it into your world the way that works for you. Like the way Ed Milet has done something. I love how he speaks. What I take from him is his passion and how he's so driven. And I love that. And I take that energy and I'm like, I want some of that, but I'm not focused on private jets. Like that's what he's focused on with his success. That doesn't mean success to me.
Right.
My success is taking my success and creating memories with my family. And so I think what, like as an example of, you know, you listening to us, we have so many deep topics where we're asking you to apply these principles to your life or reflect on stuff that's not so easy to think about, right? But just because you heard how somebody else did it doesn't mean that's the exact same way that you need to do it. But that's why we have these 3 gold stars and the Unleashing Ivy. It's to get you really thinking, how can this apply to me? How can it apply to my life? Because you have one unique, beautiful life, and we want you to tap into that. We want you to feel the best you can feel about who you are and what you want. And so we've designed all of our episodes so that it's not just about us. Like, yes, you relate to the stories, but also integrate it. Here's 3 gold stars. Here's even deeper questions to get you thinking. Take it and run with it and integrate it into your life.
And tune into you. Like, right? This is what Andrea is saying. It's stop placing so much value on what everyone else thinks or everyone else's ticket to success, and think about what really relates and resonates with you and what action you need to take, because no one can tell you that, right? You think about so many people go to the doctor and the doctor tells them to change their whole lifestyle, but are they going to do it? 9 out of 10 people don't, right? They have to learn it for themselves. They have to toy with it. I think about Tom Seeger, who was on the podcast, and he said that evidence and proof only works if it works for you, or it's only evidence if it works for you, right? My success story is going to look different than yours, and it's all relative. And so knowing that you have to tap into you, how you're feeling. Are you being self-critical? What next step can you take? What do you maybe need to delete and get rid of because it's not serving you? And that book can just get off your list because it's causing you more stress and allowing you to not take action, holding you from taking action. Self-growth is such a beautiful thing. Like, you should be so proud of yourself that you are listening, that you want to evolve, you want to be a better person. Like, that's why we do this, right? We all want a better experience of this time we have in life. We have one shot at it. And so we want to make the most of it. But don't forget to be grateful where you're at within the process.
Yeah, can you enjoy where you are and push yourself to experience what you know you're kind of desiring, right? That it's the call is coming in, it's whispering to you, and you know you want to chase it a bit, but can you enjoy the process? Can you have fun along the way? Can you identify your strengths and roll with them, right? And then fine tune the ones that aren't so big of strengths so that you can get rid of those insecurities you might have, or learn a little bit more about yourself or the world that you live in. So we want to leave you with 3 gold stars. Take them or leave them. They're up to you, right? If they resonate, use them. If they don't. But our first gold star is reflect on your 3 favorite qualities of yourself that don't need any improvement and you like just the way you are.
Love it. Number 2, build your presence muscle. We do this by sitting and being in silence and or meditating with a guided meditation for at least 5 minutes every day.
And 3, identify what you've already achieved or accomplished to believe even more in your abilities.
And your piece of gold today comes from us. And we say, don't forget to embody your strengths and live in the moment as you reach for what you desire.
This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.